I am ready to receive, and abundance begins moving toward me the moment I stop pushing it away. Something inside you has been waiting to hear these words, not because they are new, but because you are finally ready to feel what they mean. You may have spent a long time asking life for change. You may have worked, hoped, prayed, planned, and tried to stay strong. Yet beneath all that effort, there may still be a tired part of you wondering when your turn will come. What if the good you have been waiting for is not far away, but waiting for you to feel safe enough to receive it? Perhaps you have always believed that abundance must be earned through struggle. Perhaps you were taught that nothing valuable comes without pain. You may have learned to expect delay, to prepare for disappointment, and to hold your joy back until you have proof that it is safe to feel hopeful. Even when something good begins, a quiet worry may rise inside you. You may ask how long it will last. You may search for the hidden problem. You may prepare yourself for the moment when it is taken away. That is not because you are negative. It is not because you are ungrateful. It is because some part of you learned that being prepared for loss felt safer than being open to joy. My dear, you have protected yourself for a long time. You have tried to stay one step ahead of pain. You have watched carefully. You have kept your hopes small so disappointment would not hurt as deeply. You have told yourself that you did not need much. You have acted as though support was something for other people. You have carried more than you should have carried because depending on yourself felt safer than trusting anyone or anything else. But protection can become a closed door when it stays in place too long. There comes a moment when the walls that once kept pain out also begin to keep love, opportunity, and peace from entering. There comes a moment when strength must change its form. Strength is not always holding on. Sometimes strength is allowing yourself to be supported. Sometimes strength is accepting that life may want to give something back to you. Right here, something shifts. You do not have to force that shift. You do not need to create a perfect feeling. Readiness is not a loud promise. It is a quiet decision. It may begin as a small opening inside you. It may sound like, perhaps life can meet me in a new way. It may feel like a little less tightness in your hands. It may be the first time you allow hope to remain for a few seconds without arguing with it. Notice your shoulders now. Notice whether they are lifted as though you are carrying an invisible weight. Feel the faint pressure of your clothes resting across them. Notice your jaw. Notice your hands. You do not need to change anything quickly. Simply become aware of how much effort your body has been making. Your body may have learned to wait for trouble. Even during peaceful moments, it may stay alert. Even while sitting quietly, your thoughts may be solving tomorrow, reviewing yesterday, or preparing answers to problems that have not appeared. You may call this being responsible. Yet responsibility without rest slowly becomes fear wearing a useful face. You are allowed to live with care without living in constant fear. You are allowed to plan without believing everything will go wrong. You are allowed to prepare for your future while still expecting goodness. The words, "I am ready to receive," do not mean you are demanding that life obey every wish. They mean you are no longer turning away from support before it arrives. They mean you are willing to notice new paths. They mean you are willing to let something become easier. They mean you are willing to stop treating pain as the only honest part of life. You may be ready to stop proving. You may be ready to stop pushing. You may be ready to welcome what once felt difficult to accept. There may be a voice inside you that does not trust this. That voice may say, "Do not expect too much. You may be disappointed." It believes it is helping you. It believes that smaller hope means smaller pain. It does not understand that living without hope is also painful. Your deeper wisdom answers softly, "I can remain grounded while allowing life to surprise me." Both voices may exist for a while. You do not have to fight the frightened voice. You do not need to shame it or silence it. You can thank it for trying to protect you, then choose which voice will lead your next step. Old protection says, "Stay closed." Inner wisdom says, "Stay aware but remain open." Old protection says, "Do everything alone." Inner wisdom says, "Support can reach me in healthy ways." Old protection says, "Do not celebrate yet." Inner wisdom says, "I am allowed to feel good in this moment." This is how change begins. Not the rough force, not through pretending fear has disappeared. It begins when fear is no longer the only voice making your decisions. I welcome good without fear. I allow support to reach me. I am becoming ready now. Let those words rest inside you without pressure. You do not need to repeat them until they lose their meaning. You only need to let them touch the part of you that has been waiting for permission. Receiving is not laziness. Receiving is not selfishness. Receiving does not mean sitting still while expecting life to do everything for you. It means becoming available. It means recognizing that your effort is only one part of the relationship. You act and you also allow. You speak and you also listen. You offer and you also accept. You move and you also let life meet you. Many people know how to give. They give time, care, patience, attention, money, advice, and emotional support. They notice what everyone else needs. They quickly step forward when someone is in trouble. Yet when care turns toward them, they become uncomfortable. They say, "I am fine." They say, "Do not worry about me." They say, "Someone else needs it more." Perhaps you have done this so often that it feels natural. You may not notice how quickly you reject kindness. Someone offers help, and you refuse before thinking. Someone praises you, and you explain why you do not deserve it. Someone gives you a chance, and you search for reasons you are not ready. A peaceful day arrives, and you fill it with tasks because resting feels wrong. My dear, this is not humility. This is a habit of leaving yourself outside the circle of care. There is room for you inside that circle. You do not take goodness away from another person by allowing yourself to receive it. You do not become less loving when you accept support. You do not become weak when you stop carrying everything alone. Your ability to receive can deepen your ability to give because you are no longer giving from an empty place. Imagine standing before a quiet inner doorway. You have been knocking from the outside, asking for peace, abundance, love, and direction. Yet the door opens from within. The moment you say, "I am willing," your hand reaches the handle. The moment you say, "It may be safe for something good to enter," the lock begins to turn. You do not need to swing the door wide in one movement. A small opening is enough. A little light can enter through a narrow space. A new thought can enter. A new choice can enter. A different answer can enter. Help can enter. Rest can enter. Open only as much as feels honest today. You might say, "I am willing to receive one kind word without rejecting it." You might say, "I am willing to accept help with one small thing." You might say, "I am willing to believe that my life can become gentler." You might say, "I am willing to stop expecting loss every time I feel joy." This is not weakness. This is readiness. You may have waited for a sign outside you. You may have thought something had to happen first. More money had to appear. Someone had to return. A door had to open. A problem had to end. Then you would feel ready. Yet true readiness often comes before the visible change. It is the inner space that allows you to recognize the change when it comes. Without readiness, an opportunity can look like a threat. Kindness can look suspicious. Rest can feel unsafe. Love can feel too close. Success can feel like pressure. But as you become ready, your view changes. You begin to see that not everything new has come to hurt you. Not every open door hides a loss. Not every peaceful moment must be followed by trouble. You start to meet life differently. Your eyes soften, your hands open, your thoughts become less certain that the worst is coming. This is how abundance begins moving toward you. It begins through a new relationship with life. You are not standing against life with your arms crossed, asking it to prove itself before you take one step. You are becoming willing to walk with it. You are learning that caution and hope can exist together. You can be wise without being closed. You can be careful without expecting pain. You can protect your peace without refusing love. There may still be difficult days. Readiness does not remove every challenge. It changes the way you meet them. You begin to remember that a hard moment is not the whole story. A delay is not always a rejection. A closed path may be guiding you toward a healthier one. An ending may create room that you cannot yet understand. Your struggle is not your identity. Your waiting is not your identity. Your past is not your identity. You are the one who is here now, choosing a new way to respond. My dear, life does not need you to become another person before it can support you. You do not need a perfect mind, a perfect past, or a perfect plan. You need honesty. You need willingness. You need enough love for yourself to stop turning away from every good thing that tries to reach you. Say within yourself, I may not know how everything will change, but I am willing to stop blocking what could help me. Feel the difference between forcing an answer and allowing an answer. Forcing feels tight. It watches the clock. It demands proof. It searches every silence for bad news. Allowing feels awake. It takes the next wise step. It listens. It notices. It remains present enough to see what is opening. You do not have to chase every possibility. You do not have to say yes to everything. Receiving also includes clear judgment. It means recognizing what respects you. It means allowing support that does not ask you to betray yourself. It means welcoming opportunities that fit the life you truly want. Being open does not mean having no boundaries. A doorway can open and close. You decide what enters your inner home. You are not becoming available for confusion, disrespect, or empty promises. You are becoming available for what is healthy, steady, kind, and true. There is a difference. Your readiness has wisdom in it. Your openness has strength in it. Your softness has awareness in it. As this section of your life begins to change, you may notice small signs first. You may respond differently to praise. You may stop explaining yourself so much. You may rest before every task is finished. You may ask for help without feeling ashamed. You may feel less guilty when something works out well. These small changes matter. They show that the inner door is opening. Do not dismiss them because they are quiet. Quiet change can rebuild an entire life. Before you can receive more, there is one hidden habit you must stop calling humility. You must stop believing that making yourself small is the same as being good. There may have been moments when you learned that it was safer not to shine too brightly. Perhaps expressing a dream brought criticism. Perhaps asking for more made someone uncomfortable. Perhaps you were praised for being easy, quiet, helpful, and undemanding. Slowly, you may have learned to take up less space. You became careful with your joy. You lowered your voice when speaking about what you wanted. You learned to say, "It does not matter," even when it mattered deeply. You learned to say, "I do not need anything," while a tired part of you hoped someone would notice that you did. This habit can follow you for years. It can enter your work, your relationships, your choices, and your private thoughts. You may ask for less than you deserve. You may accept less respect than you need. You may hide your gifts because being seen feels unsafe. You may tell yourself that wanting a full life is selfish. But wanting peace is not selfish. Wanting enough is not selfish. Wanting meaningful work is not selfish. Wanting love that feels safe is not selfish. Wanting time, space, support, and freedom is not selfish. These desires do not make you greedy, they make you human. Abundance is not only about money. Money can be one form of support, but abundance reaches into every part of life. It is having enough time to sit without rushing. It is waking with a little more peace. It is being surrounded by people who do not drain your spirit. It is having ideas that lead somewhere useful. It is finding the courage to speak clearly. It is receiving help before you are completely exhausted. It is having enough within you to share without leaving yourself empty. Enough peace to think clearly. Enough time to live slowly. Enough support to stop carrying everything alone. Enough good to share without emptying yourself. You may have confused suffering with goodness. Perhaps you believe that a good person always puts themselves last. Perhaps you believed that being spiritual meant having no desire for comfort. Perhaps you thought struggle made you more worthy, while ease made you less honest. My dear, pain does not prove your goodness. Exhaustion does not prove your love. Lack does not prove your humility. You can have a gentle life and still care deeply. You can receive well and still give freely. You can protect your time and still be kind. You can grow beyond an old life without looking down on anyone who remains there. Your fullness does not have to become pride. It can become service. When you are rested, you listen more clearly. When you are supported, you make wiser choices. When your needs are respected, you are less likely to give with hidden anger. When you know your worth, you stop asking others to fill every empty place inside you. A fuller life can make your love cleaner. A supported life can make your giving more honest. A peaceful life can allow you to be truly present. There is an old inner mirror you may still be looking into. It reflects the version of you that learned to survive by asking for little. In that mirror, you may appear smaller than you are. Your gifts look ordinary. Your needs look like problems. Your dreams look too large for you. Your mistakes look permanent. But that reflection was shaped by old words, old reactions, and old fear. It is not the whole truth. Look at the dim reflection of your face in a dark phone screen. The image is faint. The details are unclear. You can see enough to know it is you, but not enough to see your full expression. This is how an old belief shows you to yourself. It gives you a dark, limited picture and asks you to call it truth. You are more than what that old mirror shows. You are more than the times you were overlooked. You are more than the love you did not receive. You are more than the chances that did not work out. You are more than the mistakes you still remember at night. No shame, only truth. You may have learned to reject compliments because accepting them felt proud. When someone noticed your strength, you quickly listed your weaknesses. When someone admired your work, you explained why it was not special. When someone told you that you looked good, you pointed out what was wrong. You thought you were being humble. But true humility does not require you to lie about your light. You can accept a kind word without becoming arrogant. You can say, "Thank you," and let the moment be complete. You do not have to return praise immediately. You do not have to explain why the other person is mistaken. You do not have to make yourself smaller so they remain comfortable. For the next 30 seconds, notice one place in your life where you reject what is offered. It may be praise. It may be help. It may be rest. It may be an opportunity. It may be affection. It may be the chance to speak. Do not judge yourself. Simply notice. Awareness is not an attack. Awareness is a light. Perhaps you notice that you refuse help because you fear owing someone. Healthy support does not always create a debt. Sometimes it is simply care moving between people. You can receive with thanks and still keep your freedom. Perhaps you notice that you feel guilty when resting. You may hear an old voice saying, "You should be doing something." Yet rest is not an empty space. It is part of how you return to yourself. It protects your attention. It makes room for clearer choices. Perhaps you notice that you expect every opportunity to belong to someone more confident, more talented, or more prepared. You quietly step back before anyone asks you to. You remove your own name from the list. My dear, stop rejecting yourself before life has answered. Let the answer come. Let the person decide. Let the door show whether it will open. Do not close it from your side because fear has already written the ending. Lack may say, "There is not enough for you." Worth answers, "Life contains more paths than fear can see." Lack may say, "Someone else is better." Worth answers, "Another person's gift does not remove mine." Lack may say, "Be grateful for anything, even if it hurts." Worth answers, "Gratitude and self-respect can live together." Lack may say, "Do not ask." Worth answers, "Clear needs are not a burden." You are learning a new way to see yourself. This does not happen through empty praise. It happens through honest respect. You respect yourself enough to listen to your needs. You respect yourself enough to tell the truth. You respect yourself enough to stop offering your life to people and places that only value your silence. I do not need to shrink to be loved. I do not need to struggle to be good. I am worthy of a supported life. Let those words meet the part of you that still believes love must be earned through self-denial. You may have called yourself easygoing when you were actually afraid to disagree. You may have called yourself independent when you were actually afraid to need anyone. You may have called yourself patient when you were accepting what continued to hurt you. You may have called yourself grateful when you were afraid to ask for better. There is no shame in seeing this now. You used the understanding you had at the time. You found ways to protect your heart. You learned how to stay connected to people, even when staying connected required you to hide parts of yourself. Now you are learning that real connection does not demand your disappearance. Healthy love can hear your truth. Healthy work can value your effort. Healthy support can respect your choices. Healthy abundance can enter without asking you to become someone else. Softness does not mean silence. Kindness does not mean agreement. Receiving does not mean taking whatever is offered. You are allowed to choose. You are allowed to say, "This is not right for me." Every clear no creates more space for a true yes. As you stop making yourself small, some people may notice. They may be surprised when you speak more clearly. They may not understand why you are no longer available for every request. They may call your new boundaries selfish because they benefited from your lack of them. You do not need to become hard. You do not need to argue with everyone. You only need to remain close to what you know. Your worth does not become real when others agree with it. Your worth was already there. You are learning to live from it. Think of how often you have waited for permission. Permission to begin. Permission to change. Permission to be seen. Permission to earn more. Permission to rest. Permission to leave. Permission to want something new. You may have looked around to see whether others were comfortable before listening to your own heart. You may have asked, "Will they understand?" before asking, "Is this true for me?" My dear, you can care about others without giving them control over the size of your life. You can love your family and still grow beyond old patterns. You can honor your past without repeating it. You can be thankful for what carried you and still choose a new direction. This is not rejection. It is growth. The old mirror may still appear sometimes. You may see yourself through an old mistake or a painful comment. You may feel small during a difficult conversation. You may feel unsure when entering a new room. That does not mean you have failed. It means an old image has appeared. You can look at it and say, "That is not the only way to see me." Then turn toward a clearer reflection. See the one who kept going. See the one who learned. See the one who is becoming more honest. See the one who is ready to receive without apology. You do not have to become loud to stop being small. Your change may be quiet. It may appear in the way you stop over-explaining. It may appear in the way you let a compliment land. It may appear when you ask a fair price. It may appear when you rest before reaching your limit. It may appear when you choose not to return to a place that only loved your weakness. Your life begins to expand through these simple acts of self-respect. You create room. You become visible to yourself. You stop leaving before good has the chance to find you. The more honestly you value yourself, the easier it becomes to recognize what values you. You stop calling confusion love. You stop calling constant pressure success. You stop calling exhaustion purpose. You stop calling fear wisdom. You begin to choose what feels steady, what feels respectful, what feels clean, what allows you to remain yourself. This is abundance too. It is the freedom to make choices that do not betray your spirit. You are not asking to be placed above anyone. You are choosing to stop placing yourself below everyone. Let that truth settle. You belong in your own life. Your needs belong in your own life. Your dreams belong in your own life. Your joy belongs in your own life. As this truth becomes more natural, the old story of struggle may try to return. It may tell you that life has always been hard and always will be. It may remind you of every time you tried and failed. It may use your past as proof that nothing can happen. But the past is a record of what happened. It is not a command for what must happen next. There are words you may have spoken so often that they no longer sound like choices. They sound like facts. You may say that nothing comes easily. You may say that money always disappears. You may say that people always leave. You may say that you must fight for everything. You may say that good things happen to others, but not to you. These phrases can become part of the background of your life. You may not notice them. They move through your mind while you wash a cup, answer a message, look at your bank account, or prepare for the day. They quietly describe the future before the future has had a chance to answer. The dry feeling in your mouth when worry begins before the day has properly started may be familiar. You open your eyes and the mind begins listing problems. Before your feet touch the floor, you are already carrying tomorrow. Your tongue feels still. Your throat feels tight. Your chest prepares for effort. You may believe you are seeing reality clearly, but sometimes you are seeing an old story clearly. There is a difference. Your thoughts do not need to be perfect. You do not need to control every idea that enters your mind. A fearful thought is not a failure. It is often a habit. It may have been repeated for years. It may have been passed to you through family, culture, pain, or experience. You did not consciously choose every hardship that happened to you. You did not create every painful event by thinking the wrong thought. You are not being asked to blame yourself for what you did not know, could not control, or did not deserve. My dear, this is not about blame. It is about direction. You may not have chosen the first chapter of a painful story, but you can choose whether its language continues to write every chapter that follows. Your words influence what you notice. They influence what you expect. They influence the choices that feel possible. When you tell yourself that nothing works, you may stop noticing what could work. When you say no one can be trusted, you may close yourself to healthy connection. When you believe you always fail, you may leave before your effort has time to grow. This does not mean words control every event. It means words help shape your inner position toward events. They can keep you trapped in an old response, or they can create space for a new one. Imagine an old blackboard covered in writing. Some words were written by you. Some were written by people who did not understand your heart. Some came from painful experiences. Some were placed there so early that you cannot remember when you first believed them. The board may say, "Life is hard. I must do everything alone. There is never enough. I am always overlooked. Good things do not last. I cannot rest until every problem is solved." These are chalk marks. They may have been written many times. They may have been pressed deeply. Yet Hay are not carved into stone. They are not your identity. They are sentences. A sentence can be noticed. A sentence can be questioned. A sentence can be changed. Notice, then choose. You do not need to replace every fearful thought with a huge promise that you cannot believe. If your mind says nothing will ever change, it may not accept everything is perfect. That jump may feel false. A gentler thought can create a real opening. You might say, something can change. You might say, I do not know every path available to me. You might say, new help may appear. You might say, I am learning to expect support. You might say, this moment is difficult, but it is not my whole future. These thoughts do not deny the truth. They widen it. Fear often speaks in final words. Always, never, everyone, no one, forever. Wisdom makes room. Wisdom says, this has happened before, but it does not have to happen every time. Wisdom says, I have struggled, but struggle is not the only way forward. Wisdom says, I feel afraid, and I can still make a clear choice. Wisdom says, I do not see the answer yet, but I will not declare that no answer exists. You are not forcing yourself to feel wonderful. You are refusing to make fear your only source of information. There is power in that. You may hear an old thought say, do not get excited. It will not work. Instead of fighting it, you can answer, I will stay grounded, but I will let myself be open. You may hear, you are too late. You can answer, my path does not need to match anyone else's time. You may hear, You have already failed. You can answer, I have learned what does not work, and I can choose differently now. You may hear, nothing comes easily. You can answer, some things may become simpler as I change the way I respond. These answers are gentle, but they are not weak. They interrupt the old pattern. They give your mind another road to follow. My words are becoming kinder. My thoughts are opening new paths. I speak to my future with hope. Your inner language matters most when no one else can hear it. The way you speak to yourself after a mistake shapes whether you rise or hide. The way you speak to yourself while waiting shapes whether you remain present or fall into panic. The way you speak to yourself when an opportunity appears shapes whether you step forward or disappear. You may offer patience to everyone except yourself. You may forgive others for being tired, uncertain, or afraid while demanding that you always know what to do. You may call yourself foolish for hoping. You may call yourself weak for needing support. You may call yourself lazy for resting. Would you speak this way to someone you deeply love? You deserve to live inside a mind that does not attack you every time life becomes difficult. This does not mean you never correct yourself. Love can be honest. You can admit when a choice was wrong. You can take responsibility. You can repair what needs repair. But honesty does not require cruelty. Cruelty keeps you focused on shame. Honesty helps you move. You can say, that choice did not help me. I will make a different one. You can say, I ignored what I knew. I am listening now. You can say, I stayed too long. I am ready to leave. You can say, I spent carelessly. I can learn to manage what I have. You can say, I spoke from fear. I can return with truth. This is how you erase the old story. Not by pretending the past did not happen. You erase its power to decide who you must be now. Choose 3 lines you are no longer willing to speak over your life. Perhaps one is, I am always unlucky. Perhaps one is, I never have enough. Perhaps one is, nothing works for me. You do not have to announce them. Simply recognize them. See them as chalk marks. See that your hand now holds the cloth. You are not fighting the board. You are clearing space. There may be dust left behind. Old thoughts may return. A sentence repeated for 20 years may not vanish in one day. That is all right. The goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to recognize the thought sooner and follow it less often. At first, you may notice the old story after you have spoken it. Later, you notice while speaking. Then you begin to notice before the words leave your mouth. This is growth. Do not become angry with yourself when the old language appears. Anger may make you afraid of your own mind. Instead, respond with calm authority. That is an old sentence. That is not the direction I choose. I can speak about this differently. The mind learns through repeated experience. Every time you choose a kinder, wider, more honest thought, you create a new path. It may feel unfamiliar. Unfamiliar does not mean false. It means new. My dear, You have lived inside the old story long enough to know where it leads. It leads to expecting less, hiding more, and preparing for loss. It leads to walking into each day already tired. It leads to rejecting possibilities because they do not match what happened before. You are allowed to stop using yesterday as a map for every tomorrow. I no longer describe myself through struggle. I no longer make fear my daily forecast. I no longer use yesterday to decide what tomorrow can bring. You may still face real problems. A new thought does not remove the need for practical action. Bills still need attention. Conversations still need courage. Choices still have results. Yet a new thought changes the spirit you bring to these things. Instead of saying, "I will never solve this," you ask, "What is one useful step?" Instead of saying, "I cannot handle anything," you ask, "What can I handle today?" Instead of saying, "I have no support," you ask, "Where can I seek healthy help?" Instead of saying, "This always happens," you ask, "What can I change in my response?" A new question can open a new path. There is a great difference between describing a problem and becoming the problem. You may be experiencing financial pressure, but you are not failure. You may be lonely, but you are not unlovable. You may be uncertain, but you are not lost forever. You may be tired, but you are not weak. Your situation is something you are moving through. It is not your name. It is not your full identity. It is not the final truth about your life. You may have used struggle as proof of your value. You may feel uneasy when things become easier because you do not know who you are without a problem to solve. You may feel needed when you are carrying everyone. You may feel important when you are saving every situation. Who are you when you are not struggling? You are still valuable. Who are you when you are not fixing everyone? You are still lovable. Who are you when you allow a day to be simple? You are still worthy. This may be one of the deepest changes you make. You are not only changing what you expect from life, you are changing the role you believe you must play. You do not have to be the tired one. You do not have to be the one who always survives. You do not have to be the one who receives the least and gives the most. You can become someone who is supported, someone who makes wise choices before reaching a breaking point, someone who receives respect without questioning it, someone who lets good experiences become part of life rather than rare accidents. The new story does not need to be dramatic. It may begin like this: I am learning to trust myself. I am making room for support. I can handle money with more care. I am choosing relationships that feel clear. I am open to work that respects my energy. I am becoming someone who expects peace. These words are not magic sounds. Their power comes from the choices that begin to follow them. When you say you respect yourself, you begin to notice where you have accepted disrespect. When you say you welcome support, you begin to see where help is available. When you say you are open to opportunity, you become more willing to take the next step. Thought and action begin to meet. Your life starts to receive a new message from you. The old story said, "Keep everything the same because the unknown is dangerous." The new story says, "I can meet the unknown with wisdom." The old story said, "Expect pain so you are never surprised." The new story says, "I can face difficulty without building my home inside it." The old story said, "Do not hope." The new story says, "Hope can live beside clear judgment. No force, no pretending, only a new direction." You may notice that your throat feels a little more open when you stop speaking against yourself. You may notice that your chest does not tighten as quickly. You may notice that decisions become simpler when you are not arguing for your own limits. These inner changes are not small. They affect the way you walk into a room. They affect which offers you consider. They affect how you won't respond when someone asks what you want. They affect whether you remain in a place that has already shown you it cannot support your growth. Your words become a form of inner leadership. You are telling your mind where you are going. You are telling your heart what kind of life it is safe to imagine. You are telling your future that the past no longer speaks for all of you. My dear, the board is not empty yet. It does not need to be. There is space now. That is enough for today. Space for a new thought. Space for a kinder answer. Space for the idea that abundance may not begin with receiving something outside you. It may begin when you stop repeating the words that keep you closed. It may begin when your inner voice becomes a place where hope can stay. It may begin when you speak to yourself as someone whose life is still unfolding. The old story has been heard. Now another story is ready to be written. The old story has been heard. Another story is ready to be written. Yet words alone are not always enough. You may choose a new thought and still feel your shoulders tighten. You may say that you are open to support while your hands remain closed. You may welcome a new opportunity and then lose sleep because part of you is waiting for something to go wrong. This does not mean your new belief is false. It means your body has learned its own language. Your mind may understand that life can change, while your body still prepares for the past. Your heart may want love, while your chest becomes tight when someone comes close. You may want more ease, while rest makes you feel guilty. You may ask for help, then feel uncomfortable when help arrives. The body remembers what the mind is trying to leave behind. It remembers the days when you had to be alert. It remembers promises that were broken. It remembers moments when joy was followed by disappointment. It remembers the times you relaxed and then had to become strong without warning. So when something good begins, the body may not celebrate immediately. It may become careful. It may watch. It may ask, Is this safe? Can I trust this? How long will it last? My dear, this reaction is not proof that you are unable to receive. It is proof that some part of you needs gentleness. You do not need to force yourself to feel safe. You begin by noticing that you are supported in this moment. Feel the surface beneath you. Notice how it holds your weight without asking you to earn that support. Notice your hands. They may be tight without you realizing it. Allow the fingers to rest in a natural way. Notice your shoulders. There may be a small ache between your shoulder blades from carrying tension through the day. You have carried thoughts there. You have carried duties there. You have carried conversations that never happened. You have carried answers for questions no one has asked. You have carried the future as if it were already resting on your back. Softer now, no foes. You are not required to solve your whole life in this moment. You are not required to know what will happen next month. You are not required to prepare for every possible loss. For this moment, you are here. For this moment, the ground is beneath you. For this moment, you can allow your body to experience support. You may imagine that you have been wearing a heavy coat for many years. It protected you during a cold season. It helped you survive storms. It became so familiar that you forgot you were wearing it. The coat is made of carefulness. It is lined with worry. Its pockets are filled with old fears. It carries every lesson that told you not to relax, not to trust, not to expect too much. There was a time when this coat served you. It kept you ready. It helped you notice danger. It gave you a feeling of control when life felt uncertain. But seasons change. A coat that protects you in winter can become too heavy when warmth arrives. You do not need to hate the coat. You do not need to judge yourself for wearing it. You can thank it for the protection it gave, then decide that you do not need to carry all of its weight into the next part of your life. You may still keep wisdom. You may still keep clear boundaries. You may still notice what feels wrong. But you do not need to treat every good thing like a hidden danger. It is safe to be helped. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to have room. It is safe to welcome a gentler way. These words may feel natural to one part of you and strange to another. Let both parts exist. Your body learns safety through small experiences, not through pressure. When someone offers sincere help, receive a little more than you normally would. When a peaceful moment comes, stay with it slightly longer. When something works out, notice that you do not have to search immediately for the next problem. When you complete a task, allow yourself to feel finished before beginning another. These are small lessons, but the body understands them. The body learns, I can rest and still be responsible. It learns, I can accept kindness and remain free. It learns, I can enjoy this moment without knowing how long it will last. It learns, good does not always come with a hidden price. Perhaps you are used to earning every moment of rest. You tell yourself you can stop when everything is done, but everything is rarely done. There is always another message, another bill, another room, another plan, another concern. If peace is allowed only after every problem disappears, peace will always remain in the distance. You can practice peace while life is still unfinished. You can rest before every answer arrives. You can be supported while some things remain uncertain. My dear, your body does not need a perfect life before it can soften. It needs moments that show softness is allowed. For 1 minute, let the surface beneath you carry your aid. You do not need to count the seconds. You do not need to perform the moment correctly. Simply notice that you are not holding yourself up alone. Feel the back of your body. Feel your feet. Notice the air near your collarbones. Let the jaw become less tight. Nothing is being taken from you because you soften. Nothing important is being forgotten because you rest. You are not becoming careless. You are becoming present. There may be a part of you that fears ease because struggle has become familiar. You may know how to function in a crisis. You may become clear, quick, and useful when everything is going wrong. Yet when life becomes quiet, you may not know what to do with yourself. Peace can feel unfamiliar to someone who has spent years surviving. You may create tasks because stillness brings feelings to the surface. You may remain busy because movement helps you avoid uncertainty. You may fill every free space because quiet makes you aware of how tired you truly are. There is no shame in this. Your busyness may have protected you from feelings you were not ready to hold. It may have given you purpose when you felt lost. It may have helped you continue. But you are learning a new kind of strength now. You are learning that you can feel without falling apart. You can sit with yourself without needing to escape. You can allow silence without assuming something is wrong. Ease is not emptiness. Ease is space. Space for your mind to become clear. Space for your body to recover. Space for a better idea to appear. Space for your own needs to become visible. When every moment is filled with effort, you may not hear what your life is trying to tell you. You may continue doing what is familiar because you have no room to ask whether it is still right. A calm body can notice more. It can notice which choices feel healthy. It can notice when a conversation is not respectful. It can notice the difference between excitement and pressure. It can notice when an opportunity brings growth and when it brings confusion. This is why peace is not separate from abundance. Peace helps you recognize what truly supports you. You do not receive well when you are always in panic. Panic grabs, panic rushes, panic agrees too quickly. Panic believes every open door must be entered because another chance may never come. Calm allows you to look. Calm allows you to ask. Calm allows you to say yes with your whole self. Calm also allows you to say no without guilt. Your body can learn that there is time to choose. There is time to read the message carefully. There is time to understand the offer. There is time to listen to your own response. You do not have to decide from fear. My body can soften around good. I receive without preparing for loss. Ease is becoming familiar to me. Let these words become a new experience rather than a demand. You are not ordering your body to relax. You are showing it that another way is possible. Perhaps something good happened before, and it was followed by loss. The body may have linked joy with danger. It may believe that excitement makes you less prepared. It may think that if you stay worried, disappointment will hurt less. But worry does not protect your heart from every loss. It only takes peace from the time before the loss. You do not have to suffer early. You do not have to rehearse pain before it arrives. You can meet the future when it comes. This moment deserves to be lived as it is. If it is peaceful, let it be peaceful. If it is kind, let it be kind. If it is good, allow yourself to know that it is good. There is courage in enjoying what you cannot control. You may also feel uncomfortable receiving because you fear becoming dependent. You have worked hard to stand on your own. You may believe accepting support means giving someone power over you. Healthy support does not ask you to surrender your voice. It does not use kindness as a way to control you. It does not remind you of what you owe every time you make a choice. You can receive and remain yourself. You can accept help and keep your boundaries. You can be grateful without giving away your freedom. You can allow someone to care without making them responsible for your whole life. Receiving is a relationship, not a surrender of power. There may be times when support comes from places you did not expect. It may come through a conversation, a useful idea, a change in your schedule, a person who listens, or a chance to try something different. Your body may become tense because the new is unknown. You may call the tension a warning when it is simply unfamiliarity. Not every uncomfortable feeling means stop. Sometimes discomfort means you are stepping beyond an old pattern. Wisdom asks you to look deeper. Does this choice respect you? Does it agree with your values? Does it ask you to betray yourself? Does it bring steady possibility, or does it create pressure and confusion? Your body can learn to tell the difference between fear from the past and information from the present. This learning takes patience. You do not need to rush into anything to prove that you are open. Readiness is not recklessness. A calm yes is stronger than a fearful yes. A clear no is kinder than an agreement filled with resentment. You are learning to trust yourself with what arrives. That may be the safety your body needs most. It needs to know that you will listen. It needs to know that you will not abandon yourself for an opportunity. It needs to know that you will leave what becomes harmful. It needs to know that receiving good does not require receiving everything. My dear, you are becoming a safe place for yourself. This changes the way you meet abundance. You no longer feel that every gift can control you. You no longer believe every new path will take you away from yourself. You understand that you can welcome, examine, choose, and respond. The more you trust yourself, the less you need to fear what comes. Your body begins to release the heavy coat. Perhaps one button opens today. Perhaps the weight lifts slightly from your shoulders. Perhaps you notice that you can sit for a moment without searching for a task. That is enough. Change becomes real through these small moments. You may wake tomorrow and feel tension return. That does not erase what happened here. The body may return to familiar habits during stress. Meet it with patience. Place a hand where the tension lives and remind yourself, I am here. I will not force you. We can choose carefully. You are not at war with your body. Your body has been trying to keep you alive. Now you are teaching it that life can contain more than survival. Life can contain support. Life can contain rest. Life can contain healthy pleasure. Life can contain work that does not destroy your peace. Life can contain relationships where your needs are not treated as problems. The next part matters because receiving is not only an inner feeling, it must become visible in the choices you make. You can believe that good is possible. You can speak kind words over your future. You can help your body feel safe. Yet there comes a moment when readiness must move. A new life is not built only through inner understanding. It is built through choices that agree with that understanding. Receiving does not mean waiting with closed eyes. It means becoming available to notice what is in front of you. There is a difference between chasing and responding. Chasing is filled with fear. It believes that if you stop moving, everything will disappear. It sends messages from panic. It says yes without thinking. It runs after people who continue to pull away. It accepts poor treatment because it is afraid no other opportunity will come. Responding is different. Responding is awake. It sees what is present. It listens. It asks whether the next step is honest. It moves without needing to control the whole journey. You do not need to chase what requires you to lose yourself. You also do not need to remain still because movement feels uncertain. There is a place between desperate action and passive waiting. It is the place of calm participation. You meet life there. Perhaps an idea has been returning to you. You think about it in the morning. It appears while you are doing something ordinary. You write a few words about it, then close the page. You feel a little excitement, followed by a long list of reasons why it may not work. You may be waiting to feel completely certain. Complete certainty rarely arrives before the first step. Clarity often grows through movement. You learn by sending the message. You learn by asking the question. You learn by trying the new skill. You learn by beginning the work. Fear may say, wait until you know everything. Abundance answers, you only need enough understanding for the next honest step. Fear may say, do not begin until you feel confident. Abundance answers, confidence can grow after you begin. Fear may say, what if this leads nowhere? Abundance answers, a steep can teach you even when it changes your direction. The path does not need to appear all at once. Think of a bridge being built across a wide space. It is not created through one giant movement. Each part is placed carefully. Each part makes the next part possible. Your future may be waiting on a small piece of the bridge. It may be the email you have delayed. It may be the form you opened and closed. It may be the call you keep thinking about. It may be the decision to review your money without fear. It may be the first hour spent learning something useful. It may be asking for clear information instead of making assumptions. It may be sharing your work before you believe it is perfect. The weight of your phone in your hand can feel heavy when you are about to send an important message. Your thumb waits above the screen. Your heart begins to move faster. The mind shows you every possible answer, especially the painful ones. In that moment, you may believe waiting will create safety. Sometimes waiting only keeps you inside uncertainty. You can ask, is this message honest? Is it respectful? Is it necessary? If the answer is yes, let yourself send it. You do not control the reply. You do control whether you speak clearly. One step. That is enough. You may believe that abundance should arrive as a large event. You expect a dramatic door to open. You look for a clear sign that cannot be misunderstood. But many new paths begin quietly. An opportunity may first appear as a simple task. A helpful connection may begin as a normal conversation. A financial change may begin with a small decision to become more aware. A new direction may begin when you finally admit that the old one is no longer right. Do not reject a beginning because it looks small. Small does not mean unimportant. Small can be the form that courage takes before it becomes strong. Choose one action that can be completed within 3 minutes. Keep it simple. Open the document. Write the first sentence. Send the clear reply. Put the date in your calendar. Place the useful item where you will see it. Ask for the information you need. 3 minutes will not build the whole future, but it can break the habit of waiting. The goal is not to become busy. Busyness is not the same as movement. You can complete many tasks while avoiding the one action that truly matters. Aligned action has direction. It may be small, but it connects to the life you are choosing. Ask yourself, does this move me toward clarity, respect, peace, or healthy growth? If it does, it may be worth your attention. You do not need to do everything today. You need to stop using the size of the whole journey as a reason not to begin. My dear, the mind can turn one step into a mountain. You think about every possible result. You imagine years ahead. You ask what will happen if you succeed, what will happen if you fail, what others will think, and whether you will be able to handle the change. Earn to what is here. What can you do now? Not next year, not after every fear disappears. Now, the next action may be rest. Movement is not always visible. Sometimes the most aligned choice is to stop pushing and regain your clarity. A tired mind can mistake pressure for purpose. You may need to sleep before making the decision. You may need to leave the room and return with a calmer body. You may need to say, "I will answer tomorrow." This is also participation. You are choosing the state from which you act. Abundance is not built through constant motion. It is built through meaningful movement and wise stillness. Learn the difference. Chasing says, more, faster now. Aligned movement says, this is the step that belongs to me. Chasing is afraid of silence. Aligned movement can wait after acting. Chasing makes every answer personal. Aligned movement understands that a no may create direction. You are not trying to force every path to accept you. You are finding the paths that fit who you are becoming. This requires courage because some doors will remain closed. Some people will not understand. Some plans will need to change. A closed door does not reduce your worth. A delayed reply does not define your future. A plan that changes is not always a failure. Sometimes the bridge turns because the destination you imagined is not the one that will support you. You are allowed to adjust. You are allowed to learn. You are allowed to begin with one idea and discover something better. Your action does not need to be perfect to be useful. I notice the openings around me. I respond with calm courage. My actions agree with the life I welcome. Let these words guide the way you move. Do not use them to pressure yourself. Use them as a reminder that your choices can become a form of agreement. When you say you are ready for respectful work, look at how you speak about your abilities. Look at which opportunities you consider. Look at whether you prepare yourself to be seen. When you say you are ready for financial peace, look at whether you avoid every number. Look at whether you spend to escape feelings. Look at whether you believe money must always create fear. When you say you are ready for healthy love, look at whether you continue making room for confusion. Look at whether you call inconsistency passion. Look at whether you are willing to speak your needs. Readiness becomes real when your daily choices support it. This is not about controlling every part of your life. It is about reducing the space between what you say you want and what you continue to accept. My dear, be honest without becoming harsh. You may notice that some habits do not match the future you describe. That does not make you false. It makes you aware. Awareness gives you a place to begin. Perhaps you want a calmer life but fill every space with noise. Perhaps you want support but refuse to tell anyone what you need. Perhaps you want opportunity but hide your work. Perhaps you want respect but remain silent when a boundary is crossed. You do not need to change everything in one day. Choose one place where your actions can become more honest. One honest action can change your relationship with yourself. You begin to trust your own words because you see yourself responding to them. When you tell yourself that your time matters, you protect 1 hour. When you tell yourself your work has value, you finish and share something. When you tell yourself your body deserves care, you stop before complete exhaustion. When you tell yourself you are ready, you become willing to be visible. This is how inner belief becomes lived experience. Opportunity also requires attention. You may be so focused on one expected path that you miss what is arriving beside it. You may believe the answer must come through one person. You may believe success must look one way. You may believe support must arrive as a large amount of money. You may believe healing must feel like complete relief, but opportunity can wear a quiet face. It may look like a change you did not plan. It may look like an invitation to learn. It may look like the courage to stop doing something that drains you. It may look like a clear ending. You must be present enough to notice. Panic narrows your view. It looks only at what is missing. Calm allows the eyes to move. What is available now that was not available before? What do you understand now that you did not understand last year? Which choice feels possible now? Who have you become through everything you have learned? These questions help you see progress that fear ignores. You may still be waiting for an outer change while an inner ability is already developing. Perhaps you are becoming clearer. Perhaps you are less willing to abandon yourself. Perhaps you are able to hear no without collapsing. Perhaps you can begin without needing praise. These are forms of readiness. When the right opportunity appears, you will meet it differently because of who you are becoming now. You will ask better questions. You will notice warning signs sooner. You will not accept less simply because you are afraid of having nothing. You will know that you can walk away and remain whole. This is power, not loud power, not power that controls others. The quiet power of knowing you can respond. You do not need every answer before you move. You need enough self-trust to know you will meet the next answer when it arrives. The bridge is built through this trust. One choice joins another. One boundary supports another. One act of courage makes the next act less frightening. Soon, you are not standing where you were. You may not yet be at the final destination, but you have crossed part of the distance. Honor that. Do not wait until everything is complete before recognizing movement. The person you were may have stayed silent. You spoke. The person you were may have accepted confusion. You asked for clarity. The person you were may have delayed for months. You began. These changes deserve to be seen. My dear, you are not running after life. You are showing life that you are present for it. You are answering what calls you. You are following what feels clear. You are leaving what asks you to become smaller. This is how abundance becomes movement rather than only a beautiful idea. After you act, another lesson begins. You must allow the result to take a form you did not plan. You may become ready. You may take the next step. You may speak clearly, make the call, send the message, or begin the work. Then the mind may try to control everything that follows. It wants to know when the answer will come. It wants to know who will bring it. It wants to know exactly how the path will unfold. It wants a promise that the result will match the picture you created. This desire is understandable. Control can feel like safety. If you know every detail, you believe you can protect yourself from surprise. But life does not always move through the path you planned. Sometimes the form changes while the deeper good remains. You may ask for one job because you want security, respect, and useful work. That job may not open, but another path may carry the qualities you truly need. You may ask for one relationship because you want love, closeness, and belonging. That person may not be able to meet you, but the need for healthy love remains true. You may ask for one answer because you want peace. Life may give you peace through a decision you never expected to make. The form is not always the heart of the desire. Look beneath the form. What do you truly want to feel? Safe, free, valued, supported, peaceful, useful, connected? When you understand the deeper need, you become more open to the different ways it can be met. This does not mean you stop having clear desires. You can prefer a certain path. You can make a plan. You can work toward a goal. But you do not need to believe that only one road can lead to a good life. The mind may become fixed on one door while life is opening a window nearby. Yet if you keep staring at the closed door, you may call yourself rejected while fresh air is already entering. Stay open. Look again. There is a difference between clarity and control. Clarity says, I want work that respects my time and uses my gifts. Control says, it must come from this exact place by this exact date. Clarity says, I want a relationship that feels safe and honest. Control says, only this person can give me the love I need. Clarity says, I want greater financial stability. Control says, It can only arrive through the plan I already understand. Clarity gives direction. Control limits possibility. My dear, you are allowed to have a vision without making it a prison. You can move toward what you want while leaving room for life to show you something you did not know to ask for. This requires trust, but not blind trust. It requires a stable mind and a strong connection to your values. You remain clear about what matters. You remain willing to change how it arrives. Think of alignment like a magnet finding what matches its nature. A magnet does not run through the world begging every object to respond. It has a steady quality. It connects with what can meet it. Your inner alignment is not a magic promise that every desire will appear. It is the growing agreement between your values, your thoughts, your choices, and your boundaries. When these parts of you begin to agree, confusion becomes easier to notice. You say you want peace, so you stop choosing constant chaos. You say you want respect, so you stop calling careless treatment love. You say you want abundance, so you learn to care for what you already have. You say you want support, so you become willing to speak honestly about your needs. This agreement changes what you are available for. You no longer reach for everything. You become more able to recognize what fits. The warmth of a cup you made and then forgot to drink may remind you how often the mind leaves the present to solve the future. The drink becomes cold while you imagine conversations, results, dates, and problems. Your body is in the room. Your mind is living months ahead. Bring your attention back to what is here. The cup, the chair, the air, the task that belongs to this day. You cannot control the whole path from this moment. You can care for this moment well. You can make one honest choice. You can finish one useful task. You can rest when the body asks. You can respond to what is actually happening instead of every event fear invents. When you become truly willing to receive, life can begin bringing good toward you through paths you did not plan. It may arrive as an idea. It may arrive as a conversation. It may arrive as a change of direction. It may arrive as the courage to leave what has kept you small. It may not look impressive at first. A new idea may seem simple. A useful conversation may happen without drama. A change of direction may first feel like a loss. Courage may arrive as a quiet decision no one else sees. Do not judge the value of something only by its first appearance. Some gifts enter your life disguised as clarity. You finally see what is not working. You finally admit what you no longer want. You finally stop waiting for someone to become who they have shown they cannot be. This clarity may hurt before it frees you. Yet freedom is also abundance. Space is abundance. Truth is abundance. The ability to choose is abundance. Not every form of good feels pleasant at the beginning. A necessary ending can create grief. A healthy boundary can create guilt. A new path can create fear. You may be tempted to believe that discomfort means you are moving away from abundance. Sometimes discomfort is the feeling of leaving an old shape. The old life may be familiar even when it is painful. The new life may feel uncertain even when it is healed. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to ask whether the discomfort comes from danger or growth. Danger often asks you to ignore yourself. Growth asks you to become more honest. Danger removes your voice. Growth strengthens it. Danger creates confusion that never clears. Growth may feel uncertain, but understanding increases as you move. Trust yourself enough to notice the difference. My dear, control often becomes strongest after you have taken a brave step. You send the message, then check for a reply many times. You submit the work, then imagine every judgment. You make a decision, then question it through the night. You acted from courage, but now fear wants to take over the waiting. The waiting is part of receiving. You have placed your action into life. Now allow life to answer in its own time. This does not mean doing nothing forever. You may follow up. You may adjust. You may gather more information. But you do not need to turn every moment of silence into rejection. Silence may mean someone is thinking. Silence may mean another step is forming. Silence may mean the path is changing. Silence may simply mean there is no answer yet. Do not give silence a cruel meaning before it speaks. I welcome good in expected and unexpected ways. I remain clear without becoming rigid. Life has more than one path to support me. These words create room around your desire. You are not giving up what matters. You are giving up the belief that only one outcome can save you. No person carries your entire future. No job carries your entire worth. No single decision contains all possibility. Life is larger than the one path your mind can see today. You can want something deeply and still remain whole while waiting. You can feel disappointed and still believe another path exists. You can grieve what did not happen without calling your whole life empty. This is emotional abundance. You have room for more than one truth. You can say, I wanted this and it did not happen. You can also say, my life is not over. You can say, this answer hurt. You can also say, I will listen for what comes next. You can say, I do not understand the timing. You can also say, I will continue to care for myself while I wait. Control wants one truth only. It says, if this does not happen, nothing good can happen. Openness allows a wider view. Perhaps the deeper gift is not the event, but the person you are becoming through your response. You are becoming someone who can hold desire without losing peace. You are becoming someone who can act without demanding immediate proof. You are becoming someone who can change direction without calling yourself a failure. This person can receive more wisely. If this is the shift you are choosing today, write, "I am open to receive," in the comments. Let it be a simple promise to yourself. Then return to the deeper work. Your declaration is not a demand sent toward life. It is a statement of inner willingness. You are saying, "I will look beyond the form I expected." You are saying, "I will not reject a useful path because it arrived quietly." You are saying, "I will not force myself into what does not respect me because I fear nothing else will come." You are saying, "I am willing to be guided by clarity rather than panic." This is a mature form of receiving. It does not believe every desire is a command. It does not pretend pain is always a blessing. It does not call every closed door a secret miracle. It simply understands that life contains more movement than you can see from one moment. There are paths that have not yet crossed yours. There are ideas you have not yet considered. There are choices you will become strong enough to make. There are forms of support you do not yet know how to recognize. You do not need to imagine all of them. You only need to stop declaring that none exist. The mind may say, "Show me how." Your deeper wisdom answers, "The next part will become clear when I meet it." The mind may say, "Show me when." Wisdom answers, "I will use this day well." The mind may say, "Promise I will not be disappointed." Wisdom answers, "I promise I will not abandon myself." That promise changes everything. You cannot guarantee every result. You can remain with yourself through every result. You can care for your heart if an answer hurts. You can celebrate if a path opens. You can learn if a plan changes. You can rest if the journey takes longer than expected. When you know this, you become less afraid of uncertainty. Uncertainty is still uncomfortable, but it no longer owns you. You do not have to control life because you trust your ability to respond to life. My dear, this trust allows the hands to open without becoming careless. An open hand can receive. It can also release what does not belong. It can hold something gently without trying to own it forever. It can offer without emptying itself. You are learning this balance. You are clear but not rigid. You are hopeful but not blind. You are active but not desperate. You are open but not without boundaries. This is the inner position from which healthy abundance grows. You may notice that the desire to control returns when you feel tired. It may return when someone else seems to be moving faster. It may return when time passes without visible change. Meet it with understanding. Say, "I want certainty because I want to feel safe." Then give yourself a form of safety that does not depend on knowing the future. Drink the water. Finish the task before you. Speak to someone you trust. Step outside for a moment. Review the facts instead of the fear. Return to the body. Return to what is real. The future does not need to be solved every time fear appears. This moment needs your care. As control softens, you may discover that you have more energy. You were using so much strength trying to predict, manage, and protect every possible outcome. That energy becomes available for life, for work, for seedfall, creativity, for clear conversation, for rest, for noticing what is already moving. You stop staring at one closed path and begin to see the wider space around you. You stop asking life to follow your exact plan and begin asking, what is this moment showing me? The answer may not come as words. It may come as relief when you consider one choice. It may come as heaviness when you consider another. It may come as a repeated idea. It may come through facts that are becoming difficult to ignore. Listen without turning every feeling into a sign. Use your heart. Use your mind. Use what you have learned. Receiving is not leaving your wisdom behind. It is allowing wisdom to work with openness. You are not handing your life over to chance. You are becoming a partner with what unfolds. You choose. Life responds. You learn. The path changes. You choose anew. There is movement here. Not forced movement. Not perfect movement. Living movement. What belongs in your life may not arrive through the road you first imagined. It may come through a wider one, a quieter one, a road that asks you to become more honest, more patient, and more willing to value what enters your hands. Because receiving is only part of abundance. The next step is learning how to care for what flows through your life. The next step is learning how to care for what flows through your life. Receiving is not only about allowing something good to enter. It is also about knowing how to hold it, use it, respect it, and let it move in a healthy way. Abundance becomes difficult when you believe you must either hold everything tightly or give everything away. Perhaps you have lived at one of these extremes. You may have held on to money, time, love, and energy because you feared there would never be more. You may have felt nervous every time something left your hands. Even when you had enough for the moment, fear whispered that you should prepare for the day when you would not. Or perhaps you gave too freely. You gave your time when you were tired. You gave your attention when you needed silence. You gave money you could not comfortably give. You said yes because saying no made you feel guilty. You emptied yourself and called it love. My dear healthy abundance does not ask you to live with a closed fist. It also does not ask you to give until nothing is left. It asks for balance. It asks you to respect what enters your life. It asks you to respect yourself while something leaves. Imagine a river moving through the land. The water is alive because it moves. Yet the river also has banks. The banks give it shape. They guide its direction. Without them, the water would spread everywhere and lose its strength. Your boundaries are like those banks. They do not stop abundance. They help it move with purpose. A boundary around your time helps you use your hours with care. A boundary around your money helps you make choices with greater peace. A boundary around your heart helps you give love without accepting harm. A boundary around your energy helps you remain generous without becoming empty. Flow without boundaries becomes exhaustion. Boundaries without flow become fear. You are learning the space between them. You are learning that you can receive without grabbing. You can give without disappearing. You can save without living in panic. You can spend without losing awareness. You can care for others without leaving yourself behind. Listen to the quiet sound of water moving through a tap while you stand alone in the kitchen. It enters, serves a purpose, and moves on. You do not need to keep every drop forever in order to trust that water can return. Life contains many forms of circulation. A kind word enters your heart, and later you offer kindness somewhere else. Someone gives you useful advice, and one day your experience helps another person. Money comes through your work, and you use it to care for your needs. Rest gives you energy, and that energy becomes clearer action. Love supports you, and your full heart becomes more patient. Nothing healthy is truly still. It moves, it changes form, it serves. It returns in ways you may not be able to track. You do not have to control every movement to trust that circulation is possible. My dear, you may have learned that receiving creates a debt. When someone gives you something, your mind may immediately ask what you must give back. You may feel pressure instead of gratitude. You may rush to make everything equal because simply receiving feels uncomfortable. Healthy exchange does not always happen in the same moment. Sometimes you receive today and give another day. Sometimes one person offers time while another offers understanding. Sometimes you receive from one place and later give through another. You do not need to turn every act of care into a quick payment. You are allowed to say, "Thank you." You are allowed to let kindness finish its journey into you. Value it. Care for it. When praise is offered, you can receive the words without rejecting them. When someone helps, you can notice the support without making yourself smaller. When money enters your life, you can pause before fear tells you it will disappear. When time becomes available, you can use some of it for peace instead of filling every space. This is how you show life that what reaches you will be respected. Abundance is not only measured by how much enters. It is also shown by the quality of your relationship with what is already here. Look at how you treat your current resources. Do you care for them? Do you use them with awareness? Do you notice them only when they are gone? You may desire a larger home while feeling anger toward the room you have. You may desire more money while refusing to look at what you currently spend. You may desire more energy while giving no respect to the body that carries you. This does not mean you must pretend to love every condition. You can desire change. You can admit that something is not enough. But contempt does not create clear care. Attention does. You can look honestly at what is here and ask, how can I treat this with greater respect? Perhaps you can clean one small space. Perhaps you can place your bills in one clear location. Perhaps you can repair something instead of ignoring it. Perhaps you can take care of an object that supports you every day. Perhaps you can answer a kind message that has been waiting. Spend 2 minutes caring for something already received, not because you are trying to prove that you deserve more, because care changes your relationship with what you have. You become someone who notices value. You become someone who uses support with wisdom. You become someone who does not throw away today while waiting for tomorrow. This is abundance in practice. My dear, saving can be an act of peace when it is guided by care. It becomes fear when every choice is controlled by the belief that loss is always near. Spending can be an act of support when it is thoughtful. It becomes escape when it is used to avoid emotion or create a moment of false relief. Giving can be beautiful when it comes from willingness. It becomes harmful when it is used to earn love or avoid rejection. Receiving can be healing when it is welcomed with respect. It becomes uncomfortable when you believe you must become worthy after the gift arrives. You do not need to judge yourself for the way you have handled these things. You are learning. You can look at your habits with honesty and still remain kind. You can say, I have given too much because I feared losing love. You can say, I have held too tightly because I feared there would never be more. You can say, I have avoided looking because the numbers made me afraid. Then you can choose a new direction. Truth does not need to be cruel to be useful. I give from fullness, not fear. I receive without guilt. I respect what flows through my life. Let these words settle into your choices. Giving from fullness does not mean you must have endless resources. It means you do not give what you need for your basic well-being just to prove your goodness. You can offer what is honest. You can give attention when you truly have attention. You can give money when it is wise for you. You can give love without offering your body, your peace, or your future to someone who does not respect you. A healthy river does not flood the whole land to prove that it contains water. It follows its course. You can do the same. You can ask yourself, is this giving peaceful, or am I afraid of what will happen if I say no? That question can save your energy. It can protect your resources. It can reveal whether your generosity is free or filled with fear. You may discover that some of your giving has been a hidden request. You hoped that if you gave enough, someone would choose you. If you remained patient enough, they would change. If you solved enough problems, they would finally see your value. This is not something to be ashamed of. You wanted love. You tried to become necessary because being needed felt safer than simply being loved. But love that must be purchased through exhaustion is not the support your heart needs. You do not need to earn your place by becoming empty. My dear, your value exists before you give anything. Your presence has value. Your honesty has value. Your time has value. Your care has value. You are not required to prove these truths by overgiving. Healthy abundance also asks you to receive fair value for what you offer. You may feel uncomfortable asking to be paid fairly. You may lower your price before anyone questions it. You may work longer than agreed because you fear disappointing someone. You may accept less respect because you tell yourself you should be grateful for the opportunity. Gratitude does not require self-betrayal. You can appreciate an opportunity and still ask for fairness. You can love your work and still need support. You can be kind and still expect agreements to be respected. This is not greed. This is balance. The river gives water, but it is also fed by rain. You give, and you must also be fed. By rest, by fair exchange, by appreciation, by time, by care, by the freedom to say no. A life of healthy circulation includes both directions. You may also need to learn how to keep something. Some people receive a little more and immediately feel pressure to spend it, give it away, or create a problem that removes it. Keeping support can feel unfamiliar. You may feel guilty having more than before. You may fear someone will ask for it. You may believe holding resources makes you selfish. But keeping something with wisdom is not the same as closing your heart. You are allowed to build stability. You are allowed to prepare for your needs. You are allowed to let money remain. You are allowed to let peace remain. You are allowed to let a good relationship remain calm without creating conflict. You are allowed to let a success belong to you without quickly reducing its meaning. Receive, hold gently, use wisely, let go when it is time. This is the rhythm. Not every resource is meant to stay forever. Some things support you for a season. Some opportunities teach you, then end. Some relationships complete their purpose. Some forms of work carry you toward another path. Abundance does not mean holding every good thing forever. It means trusting that an ending does not remove all future good. This trust helps you release without panic. You can thank what served you. You can grieve what mattered. You can carry the lesson without carrying the whole past. The river continues. My dear, there may be areas where the flow feels blocked. Perhaps money enters and leaves too quickly. Perhaps love is offered, but you do not trust it. Perhaps you want support, but you cannot ask. Do not attack the blockage. Become curious. Ask what fear is protecting. Are you afraid of being controlled? Are you afraid of losing what you receive? Are you afraid of being seen as selfish? Are you afraid that if life becomes easier, others will no longer understand you? Your answer may reveal why you interrupt the flow. You can meet that fear with a new truth. I can receive and remain free. I can keep what supports my well-being. I can give without abandoning myself. I can have enough without taking from another person. These truths create healthier banks for the river. They guide your choices. They help you move from fear into responsibility. You do not need endless abundance to begin living abundantly. Begin with the way you handle 1 hour. Begin with the way you receive one compliment. Begin with the way you spend one amount of money. Begin with the way you care for one object. Begin with the way you answer one request. Small choices reveal your relationship with flow. You are not trying to become perfect. You are becoming present. The more present you become, the more clearly you see what supports life and what drains it. You notice where money is used with care. You notice where time disappears without purpose. You notice which relationships return energy and which only take it. You notice how often guilt makes your decisions. This awareness allows the river to find a healthier course. Do not rush the process. A new relationship with abundance is built through steady choices. You are learning that enough can be cared for. You are learning that more can be handled. You are learning that giving and receiving can exist without fear. As this balance grows, gratitude becomes more honest. Not gratitude used to hide pain. Not gratitude used to force a smile. A deeper gratitude that can see what is good without denying what is difficult. Gratitude is often spoken about as though it should erase every other feeling. You may have been told to be grateful when you were hurt, to be grateful when you were tired, to be grateful when your needs were ignored, to be grateful because someone else had less. This kind of gratitude can feel like a command to disappear. It can make you believe sadness is a failure. It can make you feel guilty for wanting change. It can teach you to smile while your heart is asking to be heard. My dear, true gratitude does not silence pain. It sits beside it. It says, "This is difficult, and there is still something supporting me." It says, "I do not have everything I need yet, but I am not without good." It says, I can honor what hurts while also noticing what helps. You do not need to pretend that loss is pleasant. You do not need to call disrespect a lesson while it is still harming you. You do not need to thank life for pain in order to be spiritual. You can be honest. Honesty creates a gratitude that is real. Perhaps today was hard. Perhaps you woke with worry. Perhaps an answer did not come. Perhaps someone disappointed you. Perhaps your body feels tired. You do not need to cover any of this with beautiful words. You can and say, "This day asked a lot of me." Then you can also notice one thing that carried you through it. Maybe it was a quiet room, a meal, a message, a moment when you did not give up. The cool side of the pillow beneath your cheek at the end of a long day. The simple fact that your body continued to carry you. Gratitude begins with noticing, not forcing, not comparing, not pretending. Even now, there is good. The mind often notices what is missing more quickly than what is present. This is part of how it tries to protect you. It looks for problems. It searches for what needs attention. But when this becomes your only way of seeing, life can begin to feel empty even when support is near. You may overlook the chair holding you because you are worried about tomorrow. You may overlook the person who listens because you are thinking about the one who did not stay. You may overlook your own strength because you are focused on what you have not finished. Gratitude does not ask you to stop solving problems. It asks you not to let problems become the only truth you can see. Imagine a garden beneath the surface of the soil. You may not see every root. You may not see the movement taking place below. Yet the earth is not empty. Some growth is quiet. Some support is ordinary. Some goodness becomes invisible because it happens every day. The water you drink, the light entering the room, the ability to read or hear these words, the part of you that still hopes. These things may seem too small to matter, but small support is still support. A root does not need to be visible to keep a plant alive. My dear, gratitude for small things is not a way of accepting less than you need. You can appreciate the room you have and still desire a better home. You can appreciate your current work and still seek a healthier path. You can appreciate your strength and still admit that you need help. You can appreciate what a relationship taught you and still choose to leave it. Gratitude and change can live together. Gratitude says, "I see what has supported me." Change says, "I am ready for what supports me more fully." There is no conflict between them. You do not have to insult today in order to welcome tomorrow. You also do not have to glorify today if it is causing harm. You can see clearly. That is the deeper practice. Notice one place in your body that feels neutral or comfortable. Perhaps your hands are warm. Perhaps your feet feel supported. Perhaps there is no pain in your forehead. Perhaps the air against your face feels gentle. You do not need to search for a powerful feeling. Neutral is enough. Gratitude can begin there. This part of me is resting. This part of me is supported. This part of this moment is all right. These simple truths can help your body understand that difficulty is not the only thing happening. I appreciate what carried me. I appreciate what taught me. I appreciate what stayed. I appreciate the good that is still becoming visible. At each line have its own meaning. What carried you may have been your own courage. What taught you may have been a mistake. What stayed may have been one true relationship. What is still becoming visible may be a change that has not yet taken form. Gratitude becomes powerful when it is specific. Instead of saying, "I am grateful for everything," notice one true thing. I am grateful that I spoke honestly today. I am grateful that I did not return to an old habit. I am grateful that I asked for help. I am grateful for the food that supported my body. I am grateful that I recognized what was not right for me. Specific gratitude teaches the mind to see real support. It does not create a false world. It reveals parts of the real world that fear may ignore. You may find it difficult to feel grateful when you are waiting for something important. Your mind may say, "How can I appreciate anything while this problem remains?" You can appreciate without saying the problem does not matter. You can hold both truths. This is unresolved, and I am still supported in this moment. I am afraid, and I am not completely alone. I want more, and something good is already here. The heart has room for more than one feeling. You can be sad and thankful. You can be tired and hopeful. You can be disappointed and still aware of love. This emotional space is abundance. You are no longer trapped inside one feeling as if it must describe your whole life. My dear, forced gratitude often sounds like a rule. I should be happy. I should not complain. I should be thankful because others have less. These thoughts do not create peace. They create shame. Someone else's pain does not remove your right to feel your own. Your sadness does not make you ungrateful. Your desire for change does not make you selfish. You are allowed to tell the truth about what you need. Honest gratitude does not begin with should. It begins with, I notice. I notice that I made it through this day. I notice that I am learning. I notice that I have one choice. I notice that something in me remains open. That is enough. You may choose a simple evening practice, not a long list, not a task that becomes another pressure. 3 honest thoughts, something that supported you, something you handled well, something you are willing to welcome. The first thought teaches you to notice support. The second teaches you to see your own strength. The third keeps your heart open to possibility. You might say, the quiet after the phone stopped ringing supported me. You might say, I handled a difficult conversation without losing myself. You might say, I am willing to welcome clearer direction. There is no need to make the words impressive. Truth is enough. I see the good that is already here. I honor the good still growing. My heart is open without pretending. You may discover that gratitude changes the way you treat what you have. You care more carefully for your space. You speak more gently to your body. You become less careless with time. You recognize the people who show up consistently. You begin to see your own progress. This is not because gratitude creates a perfect life. It creates clearer sight. Clear sight helps you make better choices. You stop chasing what only looks bright from a distance. You begin to value what is steady. You stop overlooking simple support while waiting for something dramatic. You begin to understand that peace often enters quietly. The garden does not demand that every flower open on the same day. Some parts of your life may be growing faster than others. Your confidence may be growing while your finances are still changing. Your boundaries may be stronger while your relationships are still adjusting. Your ideas may be clear while the outer opportunity has not yet appeared. Do not call the whole garden empty because one area has not opened. Look for the roots. Look for the new strength. Look for the places where you respond differently than before. Perhaps you no longer panic as quickly. Perhaps you stop yourself before speaking against your future. Perhaps you can receive a compliment without pushing it away. Perhaps you are less willing to accept confusion. These changes matter. They are signs that you are becoming able to hold more good. My dear, there may also be days when gratitude feels far away. Do not force it. Begin with simple acknowledgement. The bed is beneath me. The room is quiet. I have water. I am still here. There are times when survival is the only honest thing you can appreciate. That is not a weak form of gratitude. It is real. You do not need to make your pain beautiful. You only need to remain connected to one true point of support. From that point, the heart can slowly open again. Gratitude also protects you from believing that abundance will begin only when you receive something larger. If you place all peace in the future, you may reach one goal and immediately move peace to another goal. You receive more money, then fear losing it. You find an opportunity, then worry that you will fail. You enter a relationship, then become afraid it will end. Without inner gratitude, more can still feel like not enough. Gratitude teaches the heart how to rest inside what is present while continuing to grow. It says, I can welcome more without insulting what has carried me. It says, I can desire expansion without living in constant lack. It says, I can enjoy this moment without asking it to last forever. This creates a more peaceful relationship with abundance. You are no longer waiting for life to become complete before you allow yourself to feel alive. You are here now, growing now, receiving now. Even if what you receive today is only a clearer thought, even if it is only a little courage, even if it is only the understanding that your life is not as empty as fear told you. This is where trust begins. Not trust that every desire will arrive exactly as imagined. Trust that quiet movement can still be happening when you cannot see the full result. Before this message closes, you must understand what to do when nothing appears to be changing. Waiting can be one of the hardest parts of receiving. You may have changed your thoughts. You may have taken the step. You may have become more open. Then you look around and see no clear answer. The same room, the same numbers, the same unanswered message, the same question waiting in your mind. You may begin to wonder whether any of the inner work matters. Fear may say nothing is happening, but visible change is not the only kind of movement. Sometimes the first change appears in the way you respond. You no longer fall into panic as quickly. You stop chasing someone who remains unclear. You ask better questions. You wait before making a choice from fear. You recognize your own needs sooner. These changes may not look dramatic from the outside, but they affect everything that comes next. My dear, you may be measuring progress only by the final result. The job, the money, the relationship, the answer, the open door. These things matter. It is natural to want them. But if you look only for the final result, you may miss the person you are becoming while you move toward it. You may miss the strength growing in your voice. You may miss the peace returning to your body. You may miss the boundary that protects your future. You may miss the idea that leads you in a different direction. Progress often speaks softly before it becomes visible. The low light in the room when the day is almost finished and no answer has arrived can make silence feel heavy. You look at your phone. You think about what should have happened by now. The mind begins creating meaning. They forgot me. I made the wrong choice. I am too late. Nothing will change. But silence is not always an answer. Sometimes silence is simply the space before more information arrives. Do not fill every quiet moment with the cruelest meaning. Feel both feet beneath you. Notice the support under your body. This moment is here. The answer may not be here yet, but you are. You can care for what is present. You can choose what belongs to this day. Still moving, still becoming. Imagine a theater before the curtain opens. From your seat, you see only the closed curtain. You do not see the movement behind it. You do not see the final adjustments. You do not hear every quiet conversation. The closed curtain does not prove that nothing is happening. Yet it also does not tell you exactly what will appear. Trust is not pretending you know the whole performance. Trust is remaining present without deciding that the empty stage is your final future. There may be preparation you cannot see. There may also be a different direction forming. You do not need to name every delay as a hidden blessing. Some delays are simply delays. Some plans need to be changed. Some doors remain closed because another choice is needed. Trust does not mean refusing facts. It means meeting facts without turning them into a sentence against your worth. If an answer does not come, you can follow up. If a plan continues to fail, you can review it. If someone remains silent, you can decide how long you are willing to wait. Peaceful trust is active. It notices reality. It responds with care. It does not sit forever beside a closed door while calling the waiting faith. My dear, there is a difference between patience and self-abandonment. Patience says, I will give this healthy time. Self-abandonment says, I will wait without limit because I am afraid to choose another path. Patience keeps your life moving. Self-abandonment puts your whole life on hold. You can trust what is unfolding and still set a date to decide. You can remain open and still ask for clarity. You can believe in good while walking away from what continues to harm you. Trust is not weakness. It is the ability to stay steady while seeing clearly. Expectation and demand also feel different. Expectation is open. It says, good can reach me. Demand is frightened. It says, it must arrive through this path now, or I cannot be at peace. Expectation allows you to act wisely. Demand keeps checking for proof. Expectation can enjoy the present. Demand delays life until the answer appears. You may have called demand faith because it sounded strong, but true faith does not need to threaten life. It does not say, give me this, or everything is lost. It says, I will remain connected to myself while the path becomes clear. This is deeper trust. You do not measure your progress only by what you can see. You remain steady while life rearranges. You are supported in the waiting. Let these words hold you without turning them into a promise that every wish must come true. You are supported because you are becoming more able to respond. You are supported by the wisdom you have gained. You are supported by the choice to remain honest. You are supported by every clear boundary. You are supported by the fact that you can take another step when it is time. Waiting becomes less frightening when you trust your own ability to move. My dear, constant checking does not make an answer come faster. It only keeps your body inside the moment of uncertainty. Checking the message, checking the number, checking whether someone viewed your words, checking whether the result changed. Each check asks the body to prepare for judgment. You do not need to inspect life every hour for proof that it remembers you. Create small spaces where the question is allowed to rest. Finish your meal without looking. Complete one task without checking. Let part of the evening belong to you rather than to the answer. This is not giving up. It is refusing to hand every moment to uncertainty. Your life is still happening while you wait. There is still music. There is still food. There is still work to complete. There are still people who care. There is still your own heart asking for attention. Do not make the unanswered thing the only thing that deserves your presence. You may be waiting for abundance, while abundance is already appearing as time, insight, courage, or relief. Perhaps you now understand what you will no longer accept. Perhaps you have learned to handle money with more care. Perhaps you speak more clearly. Perhaps you are less afraid of beginning. These are not replacements for every outer need. You may still need more income. You may still desire partnership. You may still need a real opportunity. But the inner changes prepare you to meet these things differently. Without them, you may receive more and still lose yourself. With them, you become able to choose, keep, and care for what supports you. The waiting has not been empty. You have been becoming. The curtain may remain closed today. You can still prepare your own heart. You can continue learning. You can complete what belongs to you. You can stop giving energy to what has shown no movement. You can turn your attention toward another possible path. Trust does not require you to remain frozen. It gives you the strength to move without panic. Perhaps the quiet movement is not bringing the old desire closer. Perhaps it is helping you outgrow it. This can be painful to accept. You may have asked for something for so long that releasing it feels like losing part of yourself. But sometimes readiness means allowing your desire to become more honest. You wanted that person because you wanted love. You wanted that role because you wanted value. You wanted that plan because you wanted freedom. The deeper need is still worthy, even if the form changes. You can grieve the form and keep the deeper hope. This is not failure. It is growth. My dear, the soul of abundance is not getting everything you once asked for. It is becoming able to recognize what truly supports life. Sometimes that is an arrival. Sometimes it is an ending. Sometimes it is a clear no that saves years of confusion. Sometimes it is a delay that gives you time to become ready. Sometimes it is simply the courage to stop waiting for what has already answered through its absence. You do not need to call every ending beautiful. You only need to let truth guide you forward. You can say, "This did not become what I hoped." Then you can ask, "What is available now?" The next step may be different from the one you imagined. Take it with dignity. Take it without insulting the hope you once held. You were not foolish for wanting good. You are wise for allowing good to take a healthier form. Still moving, still becoming. The quiet time teaches you how to live without constant proof. It teaches you to build peace before the final answer. It teaches you that your life cannot be reduced to one outcome. You may feel uncertain, empty, but you are not empty. You may feel disappointed, but you are not without direction. You may be waiting, but you are not powerless. This is the inner strength that can hold abundance when it arrives, because abundance is not only something you receive once. It becomes a way of living, a way of speaking, a way of choosing, a way of respecting yourself and what enters your life. Receiving is not a single moment. It is not one declaration made on a hopeful day. It becomes a relationship you build with life. You live as someone who can receive when you stop predicting defeat before the day begins. You live as someone who can receive when you accept sincere support without explaining why you do not deserve it. You live as someone who can receive when you take a clear step without demanding to see the whole journey. You live as someone who can receive when you care for what you already have. You live as someone who can receive when you remain open without abandoning your boundaries. This way of living may look simple from the outside. It may appear in the way you answer a question, in the way you rest, in the way you speak about money, in the way you leave a room where your spirit is not respected, in the way you let a good moment remain good. My dear, you do not need to perform spirituality perfectly. You do not need to feel calm all the time. You do not need to remove every fearful thought. You only need to stop letting fear make every choice. Some days you will feel open. Other days you may feel tired and guarded. You can meet both days with care. On an open day, take the step. On a tired day, protect your energy. On a clear day, make the decision. On an uncertain day, gather information. Receiving includes trusting the rhythm of your own life. You are not required to move at the speed of someone else's progress. You are not late because another person's door opened first. You are not forgotten because your path looks different. A sunrise does not happen in every place at the same moment. Yet morning still comes. The first soft light touching the edge of the room before the day fully begins does not arrive with force. It slowly changes what can be seen. At first the room is still mostly dark. Then the shape of a chair appears. The edge of a table becomes clear. The wall changes color. Nothing rushed, nothing shouted. Light simply continued. Your new life may grow this way, quietly, steadily, one clear choice at a time. You may not notice the full change while it is happening. Then one day, you respond differently to something that once controlled you. You do not chase the person who pulled away. You do not spend from panic. You do not call yourself a failure after one mistake. You do not say yes while your whole body is saying no. You realize the room is no longer dark. My dear, becoming ready to receive does not mean becoming available for everything. It means becoming available for what respects your life. You welcome help that strengthens you. You welcome work that values your effort. You welcome love that allows you to remain honest. You welcome money with care rather than shame. You welcome rest without waiting for complete exhaustion. You also close the door when something asks you to disappear. This is part of receiving. A clear no protects a true yes. You may have believed that abundance means having no limits, but limits create quality. When you protect your time, your attention becomes more valuable. When you protect your peace, your relationships become more honest. When you protect your resources, your giving becomes more thoughtful. Your boundaries are not walls against life. They are signs that you are prepared to care for what enters. You trust yourself more now. Not because you know every answer, because you know you can listen. You know you can change direction. You know you can repair a mistake. You know you can survive disappointment without turning against yourself. This trust allows you to receive without fear controlling every moment. You do not need to ask, "What if I lose it?" Every time something good arrives, you can ask, "How can I care for this while it is here?" That question returns you to the present. A relationship may be here. Care for it with honesty. An opportunity may be here. Meet it with attention. Money may be here. Use it with wisdom. A peaceful hour may be here. Do not fill it with worry. You cannot guarantee how long every form will remain. You can live fully and wisely while it is present. This is emotional freedom. My dear, there may still be a voice that says you are not ready. It may point to unfinished healing. It may remind you of past mistakes. It may compare you with someone who appears more confident. You do not need to be completely healed before goodness can reach you. You do not need to become fearless before you act. You do not need to erase your past before you receive support. Readiness is not perfection. Readiness is willingness with wisdom. You are willing to learn, willing to see differently, willing to accept help, willing to make a clear choice, willing to stop rejecting yourself. That is enough to begin. You are ready for the help that respects you. You are ready for the work that values you. You are ready for the peace that does not need to be earned through pain. You are ready for the good that meets you as you truly are. Let these words enter without pressure. You are not making a demand. You are recognizing a new inner position. You have more room now. Room because you are no longer filling every thought with fear. Room because you are no longer calling smallness humility. Room because you are learning to let your body soften. Room because you are taking action without chasing. Room because you are allowing good to arrive in more than one form. Room because you are caring for what flows through your life. Room because gratitude has become honest. Room because waiting no longer means you are powerless. This room inside you is where abundance can be held. You may receive an opportunity and no longer destroy it with the belief that you are not enough. You may receive love and no longer ask it to heal every old wound. You may receive money and no longer use it only to escape fear. You may receive rest and no longer fill it with guilt. You become able to meet good with presence. This is the deeper change. Abundance begins moving toward you, but you also begin moving differently toward life. You notice, you respond, you care, you choose, you release, you receive. There is no need to repeat the same words until they become empty. Let your life become the declaration. Let the way you speak to yourself become the declaration. Let the way you protect your peace become the declaration. Let the way you accept support become the declaration. Let the way you take the next honest step become the declaration. Your actions say, I am available for a fuller life. Your boundaries say, I will not abandon myself to receive it. Your gratitude says, I recognize good. Your openness says, there may be more, my dear. This is not the end of difficulty. It is the end of believing difficulty is the only truth. You may still face uncertain days. You may still make mistakes. You may still feel fear. But fear will no longer have the whole room. Hope will be there. Wisdom will be there. Self-respect will be there. The memory of your own strength will be there. You have more inner support than before. You are learning to live from enoughness even while some outer needs remain. Enoughness does not mean you stop growing. It means you stop treating yourself as empty while you grow. You stop saying, I will become worthy when I receive. You understand? I receive more wisely because I already know my worth. This changes the energy of every choice. You no longer beg a closed path to prove your value. You no longer accept poor treatment because you fear being alone. You no longer hide your work because judgment is possible. You no longer wait for complete confidence. You move as someone who belongs in their own life. The first light is here. Perhaps it is not a full sunrise yet. Perhaps some corners remain dark. That is all right. You can see enough for the next step. You can see enough to know where you stand. You can see enough to recognize what no longer belongs. You can see enough to welcome what is true. What belongs in your life can reach you more freely now because you are no longer turning away from it. You may still hesitate. Then remember, you do not have to open your whole life in one moment. A small, honest opening is enough. One compliment received, one request made, one boundary kept, one task begun, one peaceful moment allowed. These acts create a new pattern. Soon, receiving is not something you practice only while listening to gentle words. It becomes how you live. You stop apologizing for needing support. You stop explaining every desire. You stop calling yourself selfish for wanting peace. You stop making your future answer for your past. The light continues. Your life becomes clearer. Not because every question disappears, because you are no longer hidden from yourself. Receive gently, fully, now. You came here carrying a desire for abundance, but beneath that desire was something deeper. You wanted to know that life had not forgotten you. You wanted to know that your effort had meaning. You wanted to know that good could still find its way into your hands. It can. Not because you have forced it, not because you have become perfect, because you are learning to stop pushing it away. You are becoming willing to receive without guilt, willing to value yourself without becoming hard, willing to change the words that once kept you inside struggle, willing to teach your body that peace is not danger, willing to move when a clear step appears, willing to release the need to control every form, willing to give and receive with balance, willing to notice good without pretending pain is not real, willing to remain steady while some answers take time. My dear, this willingness is the beginning. The abundance you welcome may appear as money, but it may also appear as wisdom that protects your money. It may appear as work or as the courage to leave work that empties you. It may appear as love or as the strength to stop chasing what cannot love you well. It may appear as opportunity, rest, clarity, friendship, time, or a peaceful mind. Do not make abundance too small by giving it only one face. Let life show you how many forms of support exist. Remain wise, remain open, remain close to yourself. You are not standing outside your own good anymore. You are not asking permission to belong. You are not shrinking so others can remain comfortable. You are not speaking against the future before it arrives. Something has opened inside you. It may be quiet, but it is real. From this moment, let your words carry more hope. Let your choices carry more respect. Let your hands hold good without fear. Let your heart remain open without losing its boundaries. There is no need to rush. What is true will not become stronger because you force it. What supports you can be welcomed calmly. What does not support you can be released clearly. You are ready for a life with more room for peace, more room for support, more room for healthy prosperity, more room for love that does not ask you to suffer for it, more room for the person you are becoming. Place these final words gently within yourself. I am open to receive. I welcome abundance with wisdom. I trust myself with the good that comes. My life has room for more. The path ahead does not need to be completely visible. You have enough light for the next step. You have enough wisdom to choose carefully. You have enough worth to stop begging for what does not honor you. You have enough openness to recognize a new beginning. The good that is meant to support your life does not require you to disappear. It can meet you here, honest, present, ready. My good is here and more is coming.